Hello everybody, welcome back to another gold making slash farming route guide. It's Baby Jesus here. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are not new, welcome back. Today we are going to be taking a look at air motes, or more specifically we're going to be gathering shock bulbs. Now air motes are a hot commodity right now. You can sell them, you can use them to craft, but most people are not doing it themselves. They're just buying them on the market, so it is a good chance for you to make some extra coin. So we are going to be starting off. Unfortunately, like the other ones, there is no quick route to do this or quick way to get there from the fast travel. You guys know I'd love to stay around fast travel points, but regardless, you guys should be relatively familiar with this area from the Life Bloom video and Life Mote gathering guide as well. So you guys are going to want to fast travel to either Akronar's Gate, which I find the easiest one, or you can fast travel straight to Monarch's Bluff. And what you're going to want to do is, if you're going from Akronar, you're going to want to go due northwest or northwest north, whatever, along this road up the bluff, and you're going to want to come to this little outcropping right here that's pinned on the map, and you guys can see why. Look at all the shock bulbs that are already here. And again, obviously, if you guys are coming from Monarch's Bluff, you guys are going to want to go east, southeast, and just come through this way. Now luckily this is another mob free farming area, so it doesn't matter what level you are, but just do note that coming to this starting point can drag mobs with you. So if you are lower level, just note that part. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. Again, right on that ping, you guys are going to see there are 2 shock bulbs that spawn right here. Now in this tiny little area, there's 5 of them, so you're going to want to make sure you get absolutely everything. And you guys can see I did start with pardon me, I did start with 180 motes and a couple of stems as well, obviously from these. So afterwards, you grab those 2. You're just going to want to run southeast to the other side of this little alcove here, and you're going to grab the 3 that spawn over here. So there's 1 here. Sometimes you can get a triple spawn on this one, very infrequent. Normally they spawn 1 at a time, and then over here there's another double spawn. If you guys do have those sheep killing sheep quests, there are a decent amount of them that spawn in this area as well. I know a lot of people have troubles finding them. This is a good spot all along this sort of this bluff here. You can find a lot of them. So once you've gathered pardon me, once you've gathered everything from this area, you're going to want to come down here. Now it does look like a cave, but do note it is not. It is simply just an outcropping in the cliff. So you're going to want to run off this end of the cliff here. Pardon me. And you're just going to want to come up and go up and over the ledge. Now you will see them as soon as you come around this little bluff here, or like the cliff, and you can see them spawned right at the bottom. Just remember, guys, it is impossible to die from fall damage in this game because it does percentage-based damage. You can never take more than 50% of your existing health, regardless of how far you fall. Meaning, in theory, if you have 1 health, you cannot die because you can only drop to 0.5 health effectively. So we're going to grab these 2 shock bulbs. Again, we just came down to this little area here. And the next place we're going to go is we're going to run straight across the cliff, and we're going to come down to this area here, straight southwest. Now, you will see a couple shock bulbs as soon as we come around the corner here. Just remember that those aren't the ones we want right away, because if you just make a beeline for those ones, you will very easily miss a nice little double spawn of them to our right along the cliff. So as tempting as it may be to run straight for those, just hug the cliff and stay to this side, because if you look there, there's another double spawn up the hill. So you can absolutely gather those ones down there first. I like to do it in a specific order because that's how my brain works. So we're going to gather these 2 shock bulbs. And we are going to grab these as well. Again, guys, I started with roughly 180 air motes. And you guys can see I'm almost at 100 gathered as well. And I started with around 20 of the stems also. So we're going to grab these. Again, this is putting us right on this bluff here, on this little outcropping. The next spot that we're going to want to go after you've gathered all of these shock bulbs is you're going to want to cross the road and come to this little cove here. It's not a cove, but, there's no water. It's a little cave. But it's just across the bridge, and you can actually see some of the shock bulbs spawning up in that corner. Now, this is the one spot that you can run the risk of dragging a couple of mobs, but they're nothing more than a couple of wolves. Now, keep in mind, if you guys watch the Life Bloom, these warm plate caps, you guys can see a ton of them spawning. They're good to make health potions. They're good to sell. You can get some fungus caps, some fungal slime. You can go get those ones down there, but just note that there are mobs that spawn there as well, so you have the risk of dragging them with you. So again, you're just going to come up to this little spot here, and you guys can already see them spawning on my map. If you guys have a high enough gathering, you will see them as well. It makes it very, very hard to miss. So we're just going to come up here to this rock, and we're going to see our first 2 spawn. Again, this is right here next to the road. So you guys can do these in whatever order you want. I like to go around, hug the cliff, and run around this way just to make sure I don't miss any. Again, you do have them spawning on your radar, so you really shouldn't be missing them. And I think we might have aggroed our first wolf. Oh, no, he's just angry. Singing us the song of his people. So we're going to come up into this little corner here. Again, you can really miss these, especially if you don't have the tracking on. So just be diligent and come to this little alcove here. Again, there is a ton of other materials you can gather. You guys can see there's a nice little silver spawn up on this hill here. I have never seen it mined before other than myself. So if you guys are trying to mine some silver, that's a nice little spot. Again, that's right on this rock, you guys. It's not on the map, but it's right there. Oh, you guys probably saw that on the map, how it's still technically there. This is a fun one. So this has a double spawn. So it spawns on top, but there's also a glitch. Sometimes you can actually get a spawn underneath of the other one. You notice how we gathered both of these already once? Well, you can actually get a triple underneath that one. Just so keep an eye out. If you guys see it still under radar after you gathered it, come back and look, and you might actually be able to gather a third one there. It's not every time, and you have to really be paying attention. As you saw, I almost missed it. So again, if you skirt around this wolf, you might not aggro them. They are only level 9s, I believe, so it's not too concerning. You're going to want to come up and grab these these bulbs here. And this last shock bulb. So the route itself is not difficult, not complex, not, no mobs. That's a nice part about it. And it takes a very short amount of time, but it takes the perfect amount of time for everything to respawn. That is the end of the entire route. So you have two choices now from where you want to go to get back to your starting point, which is right here. You can follow this road and loop back around, which is totally fine. Takes a little bit longer. You can cut right through this mine here, but again, if you do that, there is a 100% chance you pull aggro from mobs because they are everywhere along there. So you have those two options. For the sake of this video, I am going to run along the road because it is easier, and I like no mob farming. I don't feel like fighting anything right now. It's just not how I'm feeling this morning. So we are just going to run, and all in all, we're talking maybe an additional minute of your time to go around. Now, one small upside to this is if you do take a minute to run around, you have a higher chance of everything being respawned for you. This route is a little fast, so if not everything is spawned again, give it a couple of seconds, maybe a minute tops, and you will be able to have them respawn for you. So again, we're just running along here, and as soon as we get past that little building, you're going to want to cut up the cliff, and you can hug this cliffside here. The reason we stay to the other side of the road is, again, we don't want to pull the aggro of those little mobs there. And, yeah, just again, note that wolves do spawn everywhere here, so if you stick close to the cliff, you should be fine and not aggro any of them. Worst case scenario, like I said, they're level 8, level 9 tops. So you should have no issues whatsoever. So you just come straight up this cliff here. Again, you want to hug the cliff face. Pardon me. You want to hug the cliff face and just run. I like to put waypoints on my map just so I always remember where I'm going. But ultimately, it's a very, very easy route to remember. So you're just going to keep coming up. And you're going to see that building. That's a good sign. You're going to want to, again, stick to the left-hand side because mobs do spawn in that building. So you just stick along here. And go around, and now we're back in that little alcove with the 5 or 6 that spawn right off the hop. You're gonna want to come to this back corner here, and this is where you're gonna want to start your route. There should be some plate caps that spawn right here, and then your shock bulbs are gonna spawn right around here. So again, we are a little faster than usual, so they won't be respawned just yet, but you guys will notice that they will be in a matter of a couple of minutes max. So you guys can go take a look. Sometimes their spawns are staggered. So you can go check over here, see if these shock bulbs have come up yet. Doesn't seem like they have. But again, if you guys have those quests for the sheep, you can absolutely go and just kill those right away and, get those done. You can also gather some herbs and whatnot if you want. So again, guys, that's going to be the route for the shock bulbs. It does start and end in the same place, just like I like it because I like order and I like, normalcy. So again, this is where you're going to start right here, just west of the Arcana Gate or just east of Monarch's Bluff Settlement. Again, mob-free farming. Any level can do it. I hope this helps. I can show you guys what we've gathered. Again, we started with 180, so we almost doubled it. You guys can see there's a little bit of variance there. So yeah, you guys can gather easily. It took all of maybe 5 to 6 minutes to do that full route. You guys can gather, a couple of hundred or maybe even over 1,000 air motes per hour using this route, along with some stems and whatnot. And again, if you guys want to go for those plate caps, you guys can absolutely do that and make it even more profitable if you decide on selling them. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please let me know. If you want to see different routes, different guides for different regions, please let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much, and take care.